Do you find it hard to pray? This may seem like a trick question where we should say no as a good Christian, but personally, if I'm honest with myself, it is hard to pray at times. It's much easier to pray and then give up when I don't get an answer, or at least the answer that I want. In our society of instant gratification, it's very hard to wait for anything. If you want the news, you don't have to wait for the newspaper anymore. Instantly, you can find whatever you want on your phone. We don't have to wait for food, for checkout lines. We don't want to wait for commercials or things to download, or even for traffic. Prayer is much like the same way. Our busy lives can cause us to be very impatient when it comes to prayer. We want to say our piece and then be done. 5 minutes max. And I'm guilty of the same thing. We say our obligatory prayers at dinner or bedtime without ever truly believing in the power of prayer. So the question is, do you believe in the power of prayer? I've had to ask myself that same question and come to terms with, if I believe it, I have to actually do it. There's a lot more than just saying and doing. It's living it out on a daily basis and making prayer an important part of our life. One of my favorite stories is in Daniel 10. After fasting for 3 weeks, this is our prayer and fasting season. After fasting for 3 weeks, an angel of the Lord came to Daniel and said, "Do not be afraid, Daniel. Since the first day you set your mind to gain understanding and humble yourself before God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them." There's many examples of persevering prayer in the Bible. People praying for days on end. Can you imagine praying for days? How about an hour? It's hard, probably harder than it has ever been in a society like ours, filled with distractions. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 commands us to pray without ceasing. This sounds impossible, but I feel it's more of a call to take prayer with you throughout the day. In your thoughts, pray. When you're frustrated, pray. When you're discouraged, pray. When you rejoice, pray and thank God. Both Enoch and Noah walked with God. They didn't just sit, kneel, or stand in prayer, but they were in communion with Him when going about their daily lives. We need to strive to do the same thing. Often in our daily and boring activities, we need to keep God top of mind. Jesus was called Emmanuel, meaning God with us, and we can have the confidence that God will never leave us or forsake us, even if we don't feel a certain way. Maybe your prayer life is not where you'd like it to be. Don't be discouraged. The Bible commands us to persevere in prayer. If you don't get an answer to prayer, don't give up. Prayer is not always answered the way we want it to, but it's never wasted. If you find prayer difficult, like anything, the more you practice something, the easier it gets. So start small with prayer, and if you need to, work your way up. Prayer helps connect us to our Heavenly Father, and it is a vital aspect of a Christian's life. As a father, it's amazing to see the correlations with my kids and how God is our Heavenly Father. I love it when my kids come to me with something that they want and ask me for something so I can hear their heart, even if I already know what they want. I also know that it's not a good idea to eat at Red Robin every night, even if they want to, and even if they ask me for it. Jesus lived a life with prayer, and He modeled it to us. He taught His disciples how to pray. And just like a good father, He knows exactly what we need and loves to give good gifts to His children.